So today we're going to talk about systems. 4 steps to systematize, scale, and organize your business. If you're just getting started with systems, there are 4 main areas that you should start with. So you don't want to go in and start creating 30 systems for your business when you haven't really had the practice and you haven't been utilizing systems before. So we're going to talk about 4 areas for you to start with, which is content, your inbox, your social media, and your finances. So those are the 4 areas we're going to go over today. Let's just talk briefly about what systems are, because I know that you might hear that a lot, like systems and processes, systems and organization, and you might not be sure what it really is. When I say system, I basically just mean a bunch of steps that you take in order to complete a task. That's it. So basically, these are steps and tasks that you will repeat over and over again in your business. And by utilizing these systems, you can complete those tasks faster and then maybe one day start to delegate those systems to people once you have a really good working system in place. So the reason why I love systems so much is because I actually experienced, after utilizing systems in my business, my income doubled. So back in March, I started using systems in my business. I was really just getting started and implemented a few systems, and oh my gosh, I doubled my income from February in March. That was crazy. And I was like, wow, you know, these systems really work. So then I actually was able to double my income again this August. So I was getting ready for that email course, implementing a bunch of new systems in my business and optimizing the ones that I already have, and I was able to double my income again. So that really proved to me, like, wow, these systems work and people need to know about how to utilize them, because clearly this is an amazing thing you can do for your business. The first area that I want to talk about is your content ideas, and your business ideas. Sort of anything that's floating around in your head that you want to implement in your blog or your business. You need systems for that stuff in order to make it work efficiently. So the first thing is you really want to decide whether you're going to go physical or digital. Now, I'm used to be a physical girl, so I would just have all my ideas in a notebook or a binder. That works fine. But now I use Evernote, and you could use Google Docs as well. There are a couple different ones you can choose from, but personally I love Evernote because it's really easy to organize everything in your notebooks, your notes, and your stacks. I just love Evernote so much. So that's where I keep all of my blog post ideas, blog posts, newsletters. That's where I outline my free email courses and anything that has to do with content or future plans. It's all in there. And the benefits of keeping it all in that same system is that it's really easy to find stuff. It's all in the same place. You don't have to go searching like a million blog post drafts that you have open. It's all there in your system. It's also really easy to like arrange things like newsletter sequences and blog series, and it'll help repurpose your content. When you can see all that stuff in one place, it also helps you notice, like, I don't know if this really fits in with my brand. It helps you pick out the best stuff that you want to talk about. It's all around just a really good idea to have some sort of system for your content. And I also want to mention an editorial calendar. You might have heard me talk about this before because I'm obsessed with editorial calendars. I actually use a spreadsheet myself, but there are different plugins and stuff that you can use for WordPress if you have WordPress, or again, you can just use Google Calendar or a paper calendar. But mapping out your blog posts in your newsletters is going to really help you work more efficiently, because you're going to get stuff done ahead of time. You're going to be able to get those blog posts proofread and it's scheduled ahead of time so that you can go ahead and start working on more important stuff. The next area I want to talk about is your inbox. So your inbox is really important. A lot of people live their business in their inbox. You're talking to clients, you're talking to team members, you're talking to customers, you're talking to whoever. You are probably in your inbox all day long. So it's a great idea to implement systems for your inbox so that you don't have to be spending all your time in your inbox, because nobody wants to be doing email all day long. The first thing I recommend, if you haven't done this already, is switch to Gmail. Gmail is amazing. I used to use the Just Max mail program, but switching to Gmail changed everything for me. I love that it has tags and folders and filtering and all that great stuff that you can use to organize all of your emails. Another good thing about it is that it can sync with like your Google Calendar, your Google Docs, your Google Sheets. It's all together in there, and that's just awesome. It's also really good if you have multiple emails. It's really easy to set up. I have like my domain name email address, my Gmail, my personal email address, And a couple of my clients, I even have email addresses for their businesses because I'm a virtual assistant. So I have 10 different email addresses that I need to be checking every day. So Gmail is a really great, easy way to utilize to be able to check all those different emails at once. It's really easy to set up. It also has Streak. If you haven't heard of that, it's a CRM software to help you onboard new clients, and that's a free thing that you can just install right into your Gmail. I'm still kind of getting used to it, so I wouldn't say I'm like an expert at Streak, but a lot of people swear by it, so I'm very interested in learning how to use it. I also make use of folders. I have one folder for each of my clients, and all of their correspondence goes right into their folder, and so whenever I need to go back and look at an old email, it's super easy to find. Next, we're going to talk about social media. One thing I really love about systemizing social media is if you haven't already started scheduling, once you start, you'll notice you have a ton of free time. This social media scheduling saves you so much time. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. I honestly barely ever do like Twitter or Pinterest or anything because it's all going on in the background and I don't even have to touch it. So I do spend a lot of times in like Facebook groups, but even my Facebook business page, it's all scheduled. I don't have to do anything to it. It's such a weight off my shoulders. I really enjoy all of that free time that scheduling social media helps me out with. The programs that I personally like to use, for Facebook, I just use the native scheduler because I find that it gives you a better reach. For Twitter, I use Buffer. For Pinterest, I use a combination of Tailwind and Board Booster, and for Instagram, I use Grum. But there's also some free alternatives if you don't have the money to do month-to-month payments on that kind of stuff. Again, for Facebook, the native scheduler is completely free. For Twitter, Buffer does have a free plan that lets you schedule out 10 posts ahead of time. For Instagram, ilovelater.com, they allow you to schedule out 30 posts per month for free. And Pinterest, you can use Traffic Wonker or Ahology. For actually scheduling content within your social media, I like to follow the 80-20 rule. I'm sure you've heard of this before. It's not a foreign concept. 80% other people's content, 20% your content, so that you're not spamming people with your blog post tweets all day long. So for organizing my own content, I use spreadsheets, basically the blog post title, the blog post URL, and when was the last time I posted it on Twitter or Facebook. And then I just kind of like go through the list and do one a day or one a week or whatever system I have set up. For all the other people's content, I follow about 1,000 blogs in Feedly, and that's where I keep up with all of relevant blog content that I need. And then I can just hop on there, find a recent blog post, and share it right out onto Twitter. So last but not least, let's talk about finances. This is probably the least interesting part, but it's also really important. I'm not super good at finances, but it's really important, as you can imagine, to implement systems for your finances, especially if you're making like a full-time income as a small business owner online. Implementing systems in your finances is going to be super important, especially around tax time. So the first thing I want to talk about is that I know it can be really confusing when you talk about LLC, you want to incorporate, you want to do blah blah blah, I don't know. If you're just one person, a blogger, a small business owner, a web designer, something like that, you can just be a sole proprietor when you're first starting out. And it's really easy. You do want to keep your business finances and your personal finances separate just for ease, but you don't have to. And it also allows you to sign up for a separate personal checking account and use that solely for your business. It doesn't have to be business checking account, because as a sole proprietor, you're running your business through your personal finances. So what I use to kind of keep track of all of the income and expenses is waveapps.com. They're amazing. It's also what I use instead of PayPal for invoicing. I love PayPal, it's great. A lot of people will only use PayPal, but I prefer Wave because the transaction fees are lower. The invoices are prettier, so bonus points for that. And you can track your income and expenses and do your invoicing together. It just is a lot easier to just kind of do it in one program. Another thing that is important when it comes to finances and that kind of thing is signing contracts. Now, when I first started out, I would have the hardest time getting people to actually sign contracts. I could never get people to sign my contracts. I would attach a PDF, they would just never send it back because they didn't want to deal with the hassle of downloading it, finding a program to sign it with, and then sending it back to me. Although it is $10 a month, I love using HelloSign. They do have a free plan that allows you to send 3 contracts a month, but because I send more than that, I do need to upgrade to the $10 a month plan. That allows you to upload contracts, and you can even save them as a template. It's such a huge time saver. Like, I used to be in InDesign editing my contracts every time I have a new client or a new team member. But when you go to HelloSign, it's so easy. Just set up your templates, and then I just put in the person's name, the date, and then I sign it. And then it's so easy. If you have a lot of money, you can get 17 Hats, which is basically does your income and expense tracking, your invoicing, and your contracts, plus some other stuff, all in one. So that's a great option if you're a bigger business and you're willing to shell out $300 a year for that. But if you're just getting started, combining Wave and HelloSign is a great system that you can't go wrong with. So those are the 4 areas. We went over your content, your inbox, your social media, and your finances. Honestly, all those things I just talked about, I know it's kind of a lot. I hope you're taking notes. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's get real. Those systems are just the very beginning. But once you start implementing those basic systems, you'll notice, oh my gosh, I have so much more free time. These systems help my business so much. I'm getting more clients. Everything is going a lot easier, a lot faster. You might even start having team members join in. You're gonna notice how much of a difference those systems make in your business. So you're really setting yourself up for success, but like I said, it's just the tip of the iceberg. So if you want to learn more about systems, you've got to sign up for my free email course, 7 times Saving Biz Systems. The link is in the description somewhere. It's bit.ly/7-systems. Thank you.